Let's go! Who's up next?
Welcome, Internet, to the Xbox Empire podcast, part of the Play Some Video Games network of podcasts. I'm Elaine. As always, I'm joined by Donnie, and it's video games time. Actually, there's a lot of news, too. It's going to be a fun episode. There's a lot to talk about this week.
I was thinking that it was a slow news week.
How dare you think that out loud?
So I filled in with a ton of stuff that I thought would be a good idea for a show.
How dare
and
you?
then today, lots of news happened.
Yeah, so we'll talk about the news that happened today, and you don't have to just think about our made-up ideas about what we should talk about. So it's good. Before we get into all the news, how you doing? How's it going?
I'm doing good. I'm doing okay. What about you?
You know, it's freaking cold here in the Jers. I'm freezing. We had snow flurries today. We're both drinking out of our FanFest Xbox mugs. I feel very cool right now. I'd like you all to know this mug that I bought, that I got today, it's only a 15-ounce mug. I've downgraded my mug size to represent the logo. So
mine's full of rum.
Yeah, mine's full of tea. I'm not as exciting. Or I'm more exciting.
Right?
I don't know. What does Dexter drink?
I am hot off the heels of finishing Call of the Sea. One of the newest games to hit
on
Game
the
Pass.
Game Pass. Before we discuss Call of the Sea, are you going to spoil Call of the Sea?
No, I'm not.
Okay. I'm trying to be proactive, people.
That's good. That's being a good host.
I'm trying to
You're
do the
protecting
job
the listeners from me.
From Donnie. It's always
I'll do it. I'll spoil the hell out of it.
So don't spoil the hell out of it, please, so I don't get yelled at for you.
It's a really heavy narrative game, and normally with something like that, I wouldn't dare spoil that. I'm sorry that if folks were upset about the spoilers for Assassin's Creed. Personally, I didn't think that was all that big spoilers.
I don't know that I did either, but I understand people being upset. So I wasn't making a joke of it. I want people to know that I do care. We do care, and we'll make it better. That's it. Don't give up on us. Okay, stay with us. Anyway, so Call of the Sea is a narrative game with puzzles. Am I correct in that assertion?
Boy, does it have some damn puzzles. This game was so much more than I wanted, than I was ready for, than I was willing. I bit off so much more than I could chew.
Did it make you feel stupid?
Yeah, real
Did it make
dumb.
you feel Witness levels of stupid?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And I
I
could never beat the Witness. But this game, some of the puzzles had me writing things down on paper.
Okay, I don't know that counts as well. I guess it depends on how you usually navigate video games. But
if you can beat the Witness, you should. I think you'll probably comb through this pretty quickly.
I'm not worried about it. I just didn't realize that it had that. I thought it was just a narrative adventure.
I thought I was going into like a walking sim, like an Edith Finch.
Right.
You know, like just kind of let's get a story and maybe find a clue here and there.
Yeah.
It's not. It is like Edith Finch. It is like Perception, if you've ever played that one.
I did not, but I've heard good things.
There's another one, The Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
That one I've played and I love. So do you hold the narrative of this game, without spoiling it, obviously, up in that tier? Because Edith Finch is amongst my favorite in the genre of, like, I'm telling you a story, ride with me. Do you know what I mean?
Is the hardest part about this game. It is a very touching love story.
Oh.
It goes places that I never knew that it would go.
Oh, no.
I mean, completely off the wall. I couldn't have guessed it. That said, at the end of the day, I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze. These puzzles were frustrating.
So the puzzles was so, like, let's just say. So I mean, they'll be
maybe I'm just bad.
No, there'll be walkthroughs. People, if they don't want to tackle it, but they want this level of narrative, should sit with the walkthrough and walk through the puzzle.
Achievement I got, I guess, for completing the game, said 0.8% of players have got there.
Well, how long's it been out, though?
A week?
Yeah. And, like, I think narrative games...
0.8%?
I think narrative games have a pretty low percent of people playing it to begin with.
There were review copies that went out. I figured that'd be higher than 0.8, not 8%.
Maybe.
0.8%.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean...
Oof.
So what I'm going to say is that, like, here, let me phrase it this way. If somebody wants a really good narrative story, They don't want to deal with the puzzles.
Mm-mm.
Is it worth sitting with a walkthrough through the puzzles
No.
to get the
No.
story? No. Okay,
Not
that's
if they just
interesting.
want the story. If you just want the story, like if you are, I love narratives and I love stories, but I hate puzzles. Don't play this game.
Okay, that's what I wanted to get out of you. That's
The
what
puzzles
I need to know.
are so much more involved.
I am going to.
They're not simple
logic-
puzzles.
I'm going to play this because I like puzzles and I like narrative, so it speaks to like all of my Type A engineer
Oh,
personality
and
vibes.
there's several pieces of dialogue that talk about engineering. I wanted to bring that one here for you.
Well, then it's going to be. It's
She's
already
like,
mine.
I always wanted to be an engineer, and then kind of goes off and starts talking about engineering. Spoilers. I guess
That's
that's
not. Don't sass the people. I'm gonna smack him, y'all. I'm gonna take him right out. Don't worry. You don't
I'm
have
glad
to
I
send hate
I'm
mail.
glad I
I'ma
played
do
it.
Okay,
It's
you're glad
very
you did.
pretty.
It does look pretty.
I did have some frame issues. It ran as high as 120 frames per second. It dipped as low as 70-ish.
How do you know? Does it output the frame
I
rate?
have the TV. Yeah, like I found out how to
Really?
turn it on my TV now. My TV displays the frame rate, the refresh rate, the resolution, the color bit.
Nerd. It's so good. You're turning into a PC game player.
I spent so much money on the TV. I wanted to know. I saw people posting pictures of it. I was like, how do I do that? I want to do
you
that
googled.
too.
You googled how to.
No, I didn't.
output
Somebody
frames.
on Twitter told me it's hidden menu. You have to
Oh, is it one of the dev
you have
menus?
to spam a button
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
it pops up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's quite
Alright.
good. There are really good reviews for it, like 9s and 9s and halves and 8s and 8s. So I wouldn't be far off from there. I think it might be a little overzealous. Halfway through it, I was like, do I really care to keep going?
Fair enough. But you did, and you feel good about your experience.
The ending was very not over. I don't want to oversell it. It wasn't like the ending wasn't so great that I was like, I'm glad I stuck through it the whole time. But the ending was very good.
Okay.
Like it was a very nice ending on some. Here's the thing, though. It's a journey. I mean,
I'm
it
here
is
for a
an
journey.
It is an Edith Finch, but more so, like it's a vanishing of Ethan Carter journey.
That was a good game.
Like some
All right,
stuff happens, Elaine. I wish I
mean,
could tell you.
No, you're not going to tell me because I don't want to be spoiled. I want to play this one. I have this
Some
one
stuff
installed.
happens.
This one installed. Well, this is the first game.
How can I allude to it? That's
No, don't you do it. You don't get to do it.
okay.
I'm gonna put you in your place on this
It's
one
like an
'cause I don't want-
adjective or anything.
Oh my god, you're killing me.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
I'm excited. This is the
Some
first game
stuff
that
happens.
This is the first one that I went through the list and pre-loaded. For
If you
Game
watch
Pass.
the trailer
Excited.
for
Yeah.
the game,
Okay.
whole kinds of stuff happens. different, completely
I'm
different
excited.
stuff.
I'm now excited to play this because I thought I like the walking sim narrative
do I. Yeah,
experience.
me
I like
too.
that, but I also really love a game that gives me a brain twist for puzzles because every once in a while it's just nice to not have to chop someone's head off to accomplish something in a video game. As much as I love my Viking raiding and burning down houses, I'm excited. I'm excited to like. I don't know. I'm excited to tackle some puzzles. Let's do it. You know?
I think I'm 6-7 hours into it.
Okay.
You know,
So that's how much it took? It took you 6-7 hours to finish?
I didn't count, but roughly here or there.
So under 10 hours with the puzzles stumping you occasionally.
Yeah, Sunday I played it most of the day, but I kind of I would have it up, and then I would like go eat and go outside and come back and play it again, and then go back. And I wasn't even like putting it in resume. Speaking of resume, I have not had any issues with quick resume that I can remember in like a week. Like
I have not. Have you used it for Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed? Because it was not working. I did not use it over the
I
weekend.
feel like I have.
I've come to the. I
You
have
make me want to go recheck now. But
Yeah.
with this game, I've been juggling games. I played NHL 94. I played Tetris
Okay.
Connect. I jumped into some demos. Yeah, so I've been doing some things, and I noticed it. Like I was like, I'm not having any issues. Like it's just working.
That's good.
I've stopped myself from closing games, so I just kind of
Yes.
leave them open.
So that's my problem. I close Valhalla every time I play it because I've had so many problems with it just dumping me out anyway. So I just have this habit of like, oh, I'll close the software and close down the box. So I think I'll test it the next time I jump into Viking. That's
just something
basically
I
all I've
noticed.
been doing.
It's just something I noticed.
Hopefully they'll keep tweaking that experience.
Yeah,
I hope for that.
it's very good.
So Call of the Sea is good, and I will tackle that over the next week or so. I've been Vikinging. That's not new information. It's been a stressful week at work, so I either want to cut the heads off or I want to play the Tetris 99 because I'm dangerously close to 100 lifetime wins in that game, and I would like to have it by the end of 2020.
That's
so
nice. Yeah,
I feel good about it.
you've slayed 2020.
I did string a real good list of expletives together the other night. I won back to back in Tetris 99, which has happened to me a few times, and then I choked in the top 5 on my third. There's a badge in Tetris 99 for winning 3 in a row. I want it. It'll be mine. It'll be mine. So mark my words.
I'm trying to look up this other thing. Echo Generation is a game that I played.
Echo Generation.
It was in the August Xbox Games Showcase.
There's a demo for this one.
There's a demo that just released for the Game Awards.
It has a Earthboundy vibe, like look. Let's just say look.
It looks like The Tourist.
Yes, that too.
So it's a voxel-based game that's basically like a 90s take on the Goonies.
Ooh.
And so Earthbound. People are going to equate this to Earthbound in the video game space, but I want to say the Goonies because that's what the devs are going for. They keep saying the Goonies, but we keep saying Earthbound. But yes, and I played the demo. I didn't play it to completion. I played 30 minutes of the demo because I was waiting for other things to download, and it's quite good. It's very pretty. It does have that effect, like that fuzzy effect around the edge of the screen, like Link's Awakening does, like that dreamlike effect.
Do you find that annoys you? I
does.
find that it annoys me when I don't like it when I like first boot a game up, but I find that my brain tunes it out.
It bothered me quite a bit playing Link's Awakening. I was like, I want to see what's over there.
Then walk over there.
Of course, but I want. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it.
I'm just curious. Some people don't care. I don't care.
Speaking of, let's go back to Call of Sea for a minute. It's really pretty. Doesn't have HDR. I've heard lots of people saying things about that. It's extremely like bloomy and colorful. So I don't feel like I'm missing anything. I guess it would be more colorful if it had HDR.
It runs the risk if it's like that of blowing out HDR. Like sometimes they have a hard time actually balancing HDR.
At times in dark spaces, this game is hard to see.
Interesting.
And it has motion blur. Now that is something that really bothers me. I turn it off in every Naughty Dog game that I ever come. I don't know what it is with developers that insist that you have motion blur on. But it has motion blur that you cannot turn off. And in some of the higher foliage places, like that stuff, and I don't mean to like whine about it. I even hate even talking about it on the podcast because I feel like it's dumb. It's got to be like a really acute case. I don't hear like reviewers and big time podcasters ever mention it. But when I'm playing a game that has a lot of motion blur, it kind of makes me like almost nauseous. Not like nauseous, but kind of nauseous.
I find that different visual effects bother different people. Like for example, I've said this on this show. I'm really sensitive to screen tearing, and enough of it can ruin my experience with a game. I think the best example I can give, and it's an obtuse game, it's Drakengard 3, which was a PS3 game, and I played it late because I had played Nier Automata and went back, and the tearing was so egregious that I struggled so hard. I finished it, but I could only play it in like 30-minute bursts before I felt my body getting tense because of it. Like I would jawline. So the motion blur, I've heard other people say it makes me feel like not sick to my stomach, but uncomfortable.
Yeah, and it bothers me. And I remember I was playing a game. I don't remember which one it was. I want to say it was like I think it was Lost Legacy. And I think you couldn't turn it off. And it started giving me a headache, and I think it might be my vision. But anyway, I don't want to go on too long about this. But it's there. You can't turn it off. There are no graphic options. So you just get 4K, like whatever it is, you get it. You can't change it. There's no performance mode. You can't change any of that. And that's probably the first time I really wished. I feel like I'm getting like spoiled. And like I went into the menu, I was like, I can't turn this off. What is this?
It's funny going from big games that give you like Spider-Man on PS5 just dumped an extra mode. Like they just said, okay, well now you can have 4K 60 with RTX, but we've tweaked density of things to give you that, Yep. So because all those big games are giving us all that, you go to a small studio game and they just don't have the resources, and you're just like, I want it though. I'll miss it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and for that much, Call of the Sea has really great achievements. They're very easy to get, and there are a lot of hidden ones, which I enjoyed. I'm not an achievements person, but when I'm off the beaten path and I get something that rewards me for that, I like that. That makes me feel good. So if you're an achievement hunter, I think there's a lot here for you, because I got quite a few on my way through. But back to Echo Generation.
We're just all over the place.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Echo Generation, because the Coco Cucumber team That's the name of the developer, the Cocoa
Nice.
Cucumber team. They actually reached out to me on Twitter and they were like, hey, let us know when your podcast drops. So I told them I was going to talk about the game. It's very pretty, like The Tourist. I like this voxel,
Me too.
cartoony take, and it fits this game style very well.
Cool.
As you open as the little protagonist kid, he's got comic books all over the floor. There's a hockey stick. He's in Canada. I picked up a hockey magazine and then I got a power up, like an attack.
Nice.
All the combat is turn-based, like RPG turn-based.
It is an Earthbound comparison where there is
Exactly.
a direct. That's what I was going to ask you before. Like, are we going all the way? Because when people evoke Earthbound, there's two parts. There's the look and the vibe, and then is it a turn-based RPG? And I actually am kind of into it. Like, I want that.
You're doing the same old thing. You're going to collect the items, to trade for the other items, to get the people in your party, so then you can fight the people to move on and progress. And their stories, and you meet all your neighbors and everything like that.
Cool.
You fight trash pandas.
Well, I mean, those are my people, so I'll feel a little bad. But if they're
The communications director for this game has Trash Panda in her handle.
I love whoever she is already.
I felt a necessity to make sure that you knew that. And they
Yes.
refer to them as trash pandas, and you find raccoons in the trash. And as you leave, like the next section in the beginning of the game in the demo, you have to fight a gang of trash pandas, like 3 of them. They're like, we run this street. And
Does one of them have like an eye patch? I have got to play this immediately.
you got to play it. Get the demo.
Speaking to my
It's really, really
soul.
good. So they did this demo, and then they did the other demo from that game showcase, which I can't even remember now, and I feel bad about
Right.
it. I played the other one. It's like Unto the End, the game
Okay.
that just released on Game Pass.
Yes,
But it's not. It's some other action game. Damn it. I wish I would have wrote it down. It's an action platformer, kind of like a one-hit thing. Not as polished.
okay.
Echo Generation's probably out this year. If that demo, unless they've got to build another half the game, that demo is extremely polished.
I would love to play that this year. I'm in
It's
the
very
mood.
playable. It's very
Feed
playable
me-
as it is.
I want to play the. I want to.
The other game was a little rougher, and it's a demo. I'm not
Yeah.
coming down on it now. It's just a little rougher on the edges. This demo, though, made me want to play the game. Like, I was just like, man, why can't this game be out already?
Yeah.
And this is not
seriously, I
even
was
my
just-
kind of game.
Oh, see, it's mine, and it's speaking to me. And then you said Trash Pandas, and I'm like, dude, when
knew
can
you'd
I
like
get
it.
this?
That's why I wanted to talk about it.
Let's go. I'm excited. This was
Good.
a good week for talking about video games. Look at that. I'm glad you played things because I'm just like over here like trying to survive before my Christmas break from
I
work.
played
So
15 hours of Immortals. I can answer any
Nice.
questions if you want, but I was going to save it for Shaq because we got a lot to get through.
yeah, we do. Let's talk about this news because there's a lot of news, and I've had conversations about Immortals, and I already bought it. It'll get played. Look, y'all. I promise I'll talk about something besides
It's
the
good.
Vikings. I've heard. I'm excited to
It's
play
not
it 'cause
great. It's good.
I'm all right with that
Yeah.
right now. All right, look. There's a lot. Let's talk about Halo.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's get this out of the way up front.
Joseph Staten's
Okay.
talking about it.
Joseph Staten and 343 there's a blog post. It is long. We're just gonna pull the bits out that matter. I've read the thing. The short version is they're saying that their launch window is now fall 2021, which, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That's what I
I even
expected.
said I expected that too. Like earlier would be better, but it's a holiday game.
Yeah, I
This
brought
is
it
the
up.
game you go with holidays.
It was delayed, and we had Rand over, and I brought it up to him then because he was saying, like, I think he was at the time he was postulating March, and my response was, "You don't delay this game from November to March.
No,
You just don't,
no,
because
not
you're not
in this.
you're not going to be able to do a whole lot in that amount of time.
Yes.
So you might as well just release it and start working on it.
Yeah,
The moment they delayed it, I was like, oh no,
it's a year.
It's
They
a year.
delayed it a year.
they need time.
They've released some images from the game, so the art direction is out there. There's some like suit coatings and all kinds of like an environment snapshot. You've got a new pop. Look at you. I don't have any Master Chief. I have all the Doom Guy ones though. There's some lighting stuff that they've shown foliage. It looks very pretty in the static images that they have posted,
Yep.
which are static
Looks
images that they have posted.
Less cartoony.
I agree. I won't go so far as to say gritty because it's still pretty shiny.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
those coding pictures.
They're shiny.
Hot.
Yeah, that's sexy as hell.
Yeah, it's
Let's
like
go.
some metallic Master
Woo!
Chiefs going on. I mean,
Yeah.
they showed off all the medals.
Now, it's like I said, these are fixed static images. Nothing is in motion yet. But basically, they kind of said like, yeah, we're whatever you want. We'll make
Yeah,
it
they
prettier.
really walked
You know?
it back.
It
That's
was
what it felt like.
weird.
They didn't. All right. So one thing that I did not appreciate from this blog post, they did not show any one-to-one comparisons that we can make.
Agree.
They showed us a bunch of new stuff
Yes.
that didn't look like the demo that we saw at all. They didn't
No,
show us any outdoor life. That whole section that we saw, those characters, none of that. So here's the thing. This could just be a totally different level.
Yep.
And they showed us that.
Or they really want that demo that they showed to go away.
Because,
and I think that's it, because it bummed them out to see the reaction that so many people had.
Then this
probably.
walking it back bums me out, because I'm not going to stop saying this. I liked what I saw. I said it live on air. I can't walk it back now. I was there. I watched it live. I thought it looked great. It reminded me of the first Halo. I had all like the nostalgic memories. I appreciated I call it cartoony, or it wasn't cartoony, but you know, the more stylistic, I guess stylish is the word we use for these types of things now.
Sure.
To me, it gave me like kind of Zelda vibes, stylistically.
And for every person like you, there exist 50 people who are like, nope.
Yeah, don't Zelda my Halo.
Yeah, exactly. This is the Wind Waker of conversations,
Yep.
you know, right here. And so I don't know. I think it's a full year away. We're going to see more of this thing. We're going to see. They also talked a little bit about the whole Craig thing, because I felt like they thought they had to. Basically, it was like, it wasn't all the way done in that build. And I'm just like, bro, I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I was calling absolute BS. They were like, we put this out. We didn't have facial animations. He was like, not a chance.
You don't do that on the platform that they did it on and do that.
No.
You're full of crap. I'm going to let you roll with it, but you're lying, liar.
Like,
you lie.
We didn't know that if we freeze and zoomed in, it looked like that. It's like, you built it.
You knew.
You don't build it in fast time. You build it in stills, and then you animate it. Like, if anybody has watched this at, you know, zoomed in per second frames, it's you guys, not us. That was awful.
I read that stuff and I was like, okay.
Yeah. That's just fluff. Just a big giant fluff spin
fluff,
piece.
But whatever. You spin it however you need to move on with your life. It's fine.
I really hope that they lean more into the meme, which seems that they already are. And I hope when this game comes re-revealed, I totally want Halo Infinite Craig Collector's Edition.
Or just like a skin that puts that face on something.
Just go all in.
Yeah, go all in. If you did it and you
box
screwed it
copy
up,
with Craig's face on it.
That's really stupid.
That'd be so good.
That's really stupid. I already have the dumb cat
controller
helmet
that says
3.
Craig Edition, a Halo controller. This is Craig Edition.
I hope they make this and just send it to you.
And then like on the back, like maybe the battery cover plate, there's like a stencil of like the Craig face. But on the front, it's like totally awesome Halo.
This. I just need you to know I hate this so much.
Dude, if Xbox did this, it'd be the best fan move ever.
There's a Craig on the inside of the battery cover. You open it up to swap it in a little pack, and the controller's beautiful.
It's an awesome, beautiful Halo controller, but there's a Craig somewhere.
Like, there's Craig.
That would be so good.
So bad, but it would be really funny.
It'd be the best. It'd be the new Konami code. It'd be amazing.
I'd laugh really hard if they did it that way and it was just inside the stupid battery cover. Because if you're gonna hide something dumb, put it in there. All right, so that's enough Halo for me. The short version is we'll get it next year. Hold on to your horses.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while.
This makes it being on the box funnier though. It really does.
It's just a really. Have we ever? So I didn't buy launch consoles until like the Wii generation, the Wii 360. So I don't have knowledge beforehand. But have we ever had a launch game that missed like this much?
I really don't remember, because before those, I got a lot of my stuff used.
Oh, okay.
You know, like
same
I don't know, I didn't have money.
I was poor.
And I don't remember. I was in college. I was trying to not.
I didn't buy a video game or a console outside of a pawn shop until like 2003.
Wow, you're better than me. My parents like got me Christmas gifts. You're a little younger than me, so the N64 was the last console I was gifted, and then I started like my PS1 and my Dreamcast. I bought like, you know, used from the Babbages, because that's what it used to be called. Look, all right, youngin, simmer.
I don't know what that is.
It's what GameStop used to be when it was either EB Games or Babbage's.
Babbage's?
Babbage's. That was the second store.
Foreign or something. Like, what are you talking about?
I lived in New Jersey. There was a Babbage's in the mall and an EB Games in the mall, and then they became GameStops, and one of them closed. But anyway, I didn't own a console box until like probably the 360. So I don't know. I'm sure something has. I'm sure there's been a game, but not like this. To have it be the whole back of the box and miss by a year is a lot.
Yeah.
So, oops. Uh-oh.
Hey, as long as
Hey,
they
whatever.
deliver, it won't matter.
I would rather they deliver a good game in a year than a trash heap at launch. Full stop. So I'm willing to give them their time. All right, let's talk about the other Xbox news. Xbox Newswire had a write up, and this was largely about cloud gaming, app stuff. So cloud gaming is coming to the PC browser and iOS via kind of a browser built-in
They didn't
workaround.
say browser, but I assume that's what that means.
I'm assuming because they're building the workaround for iOS.
So
I'm
is that all
assuming-
browsers? Is it
I don't know.
agnostic or is it Edge? I have so many
please.
questions.
I do have a lot
Because
of
I have
questions. None of them-
Chromebooks and all these things. Like I have so many questions.
None of this was cleared up in this article, but in the spring it will be. iOS and PC will be able to use cloud gaming
This
in the
this
spring. And then Game Pass Ultimate, which was also wrapped up in this, is coming to some new territories. This is exciting because Game Pass is rad. Australia, Brazil, Japan, and Mexico in 2021, not specific on the month.
So this is big because streaming, because these folks, especially like Brazil and stuff, they have taxes and tariffs, and it's hard as hell to get consoles and things like that.
Correct.
So streaming in these foreign markets is a big part of Stadia's strategy. Streaming in these markets is a big deal. So a lot of people are tethered to their mobile devices all the time. So yeah, there's kind of a race because whoever gets there first typically has an advantage. Doesn't necessarily mean they quote unquote win, but whoever gets there first typically has a good advantage.
Yeah, I think that's, I don't know, it's exciting to see more people have access to cloud gaming, to Game Pass Ultimate. Like, there's a lot of good in these services that people will use.
Definitely.
So-
And I do feel like I give Microsoft a pass on their streaming because I don't think it's as good as Stadia's or Luna's, having gone hands-on with all of them. But it honestly doesn't matter because you're not paying for it. It's not like a separate thing because you're already buying it. And Game Pass as a value is so good.
So that
It honestly doesn't matter.
So that, yes. It's not just that you're not paying for it like individually. It's that you're paying for it roped into a service that gives you a crap load of games for it.
Yeah.
Like, you still buy Stadia games.
And saying
You
I don't
get
pay
some.
for it, that's just me because I'm already an
Same.
Xbox customer.
Same.
But like somebody in Brazil may not have anything, but that
Right.
still doesn't change the fact that the problem that Google and Luna have and will have for the foreseeable future, it won't change for years, is the fact that if you sign up for Game Pass, you get Forza, Halo, Gears, Bethesda,
Games. Good
EA
games.
access, like big, marketable, recognizable brands.
EA, yeah, the EA stuff.
The fact
like,
that you just get Halo, like Halo
Yeah.
alone is such a big advantage for Xbox in this space right now.
without having to tack on $50 to own that game on the service. Like, that's the thing about Stadia that, I don't think it's a bad service. And actually, I've fiddled with it. It works okay. I don't have a
does.
problem with that. But my issue
better.
is, like,
Like it plays
It-
and looks better than Xbox
Yes.
streaming does.
as of right now,
Yeah, as
I
of
agree
now.
with you. As of this recording, I agree with this statement.
But honestly, like it doesn't matter because the value
nothing-
proposition, the lack of an option for hardware, like there's so many of these other things that make it, I think, a harder thing to pitch. Like the Game Pass pitch is very easy. It
Agree.
doesn't PC, streaming, Xbox, whatever it is you want to use, the Game Pass pitch is very easy.
It is. I mean, they went with that $1 for the first 3 months offer, and
They
I
did it
know
again.
that I tweeted it, and a bunch of people just
In our
like,
chat, it was already talking about, we have several folks that signed up and
Yeah.
they're using the I signed up for Game Pass because of Donnie stuff
It's
like
you and me. It's us tweeting this nonsense.
Game
that
Pass
we-
podcast. I'm never going to stop.
No, same, because it's probably the biggest selling
I've loved
point for this
Xbox for 15 years. I went PlayStation 4 first because I felt like they earned it more. I came back to Xbox because of Game Pass, not because of anything else. Literally, there was no game or collection of games or anything. I came back to Xbox full circle
because of Game Pass.
because of Game Pass. The moment that they
used-
put first party in Game Pass, I was like, oh, well,
yeah,
it's just no brainer. I got to do this.
I started using my Xbox more when the One X came out, more than my PlayStation, just because the experience was snappier. It just was, and the Game Pass was the thing that just kept me booting that system first. What's new? What's on there? And then I would just be like, I'll get to the PS4 stuff. Because the PS4, I know what's there. You know what I mean? But there are a lot of games, and we discussed this last week, like a list of sleepers that you could easily miss. So like
That's
flipping
the
through
beauty
that
of Game
app.
Pass is man,
Every podcast, we're going to do this.
We could do a whole show on this topic alone.
We could.
The
we
beauty
won't.
of Game Pass, and the reason that it's so much better than PlayStation Now, and it just is that it's both the first party thing that you will always want PlayStation Now to be, and
Sure.
it's Apple Arcade.
And
it's
those little
EA
games.
and Bethesda.
Yeah.
There's like
And
3 different pillars of Game Pass that are like collectively make it just a juggernaut. Like,
Yeah.
and I know I'm a fan. I have a Halo pop and I've got all this crap, but that aside, you give me anybody that wants to argue with me against Game Pass and I will do it for days. Like, how anybody tries to say they don't have Game Pass is beyond me.
If you own a piece of hardware,
That
a
can
Microsoft
play it,
piece of hardware
you-
that can play it, you should play those games. There's no reason not to at this point.
There's no
It's
reason
very
not
hard.
to.
There's no reason not to.
You be a diehard PlayStation fan, and if you have a PC, you should have Game Pass. Like, you're
At least-
missing out.
At least start and stop when things come out you
Yeah.
want to play. But in reality, a lot of those little Steam games that you might get in indie bundles end up there. And it's worth flipping through that library once a month and saying, oh, Crosscode looks cool. Oh, why don't I try this? And you might find something you love. There's also, like, I said to somebody today, like, Resident Evil 7 is in there. And people wrote that game off because 6 was bad. But you can try that for free.
The thing
you know?
about the indie space that I love Game Pass so much is not just that they have them, they launch into them.
Yes.
They don't come
Yes.
a month later, they don't come 3
I
months
love
later.
that.
They launch into Game Pass. Like, they are promoted 10 months in advance. This game launched into Game Pass. When that happens, I never even think about that game again. Not on Switch, not on PlayStation, not on PC. I don't care if the Epic Store is giving it away. I don't care if it's on Twitch Prime Gaming. It's launching into Game Pass. So that has become my favorite thing about Game Pass is when Tunic on the stage shows up and I'm like,
That's true.
that looks adorable. I want it. And they're like, and it's
that's
coming
on
to Game Pass. I'm
Game
like,
Pass. I love
this
those
is the
words.
best thing in the world. Exactly.
I love booting up the app, the space, and seeing those games at the top bar because they're new. That's a thing that I think that Microsoft does fairly well. Now, the space of games is smaller, so like as opposed to highlighting on Steam, it's easier. But they do put those games up. It isn't just Forza and Gears at the top. It's like, hey, check out this new stuff that might be small. All right, we'll come down off our damn soapbox. We'll move on. Apparently, this blog post, the VP of MS Gaming specifically states that there are some surprises from first party for 2021.
what
Lol,
could
it's
they
probably
be?
Forza Horizon 5. That are unannounced and expect 30 pieces of new content to arrive for the existing franchises in the first half of the year. And there are more updates from,
Sea of Thieves, Forza,
yeah,
Minecraft.
come on, they're just fine, obviously.
Yeah.
But cool, keep giving us content. More stuff coming from the Xbox team and the Bethesda teams too. So get ready, kids.
And they did go at length to talk about and fully anticipate to acquire Bethesda within the
Finalize the deal.
They're letting people know like that deal's coming, and I expect like a full Bethesda type briefing as that comes out. I expect at least like a rundown, like an Xbox Wire podcast. Like, we have now acquired Bethesda. Here's what you can expect from us.
Yeah, at least an article saying here's the timeline of releases into Game Pass and here's how we're going to handle things. I would expect at least here's the existing catalog and here's what we're going to do with it.
Yeah.
As soon as that deal gets inked. They have that written. They're ready.
Yeah.
They be ready. All right, let's talk about content for games that are out that we love. Let's talk about Gears of War 5. This was surprising because I would have thought this thing would have dropped during the Game Awards, which are as of when we were recording this tomorrow night, the 10th.
I was expecting this for the Game Awards as well.
So they dropped essentially the Hive Busters content update, which I believe is a campaign update. They're saying 2 or 3 hours, $20, or guess what? You get it with your Game of the Year edition that's in the Game Pass Ultimate sub.
So they're releasing a Game of the Year edition of Gears 5 the same day. Or
A
you
physical
get it,
version?
Yeah.
Okay,
Or you get it as a part of Game Pass Ultimate, but not regular Game Pass.
that's
This
interesting.
is new.
This is the first time they've done this?
Maybe.
With a piece of content?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Someone
Definitely,
can yell
I
at me
think
on
within
Twitter.
first party, I think that's true.
I definitely think that's true. But regardless, like $20 for this additional content, 2 to 3 hours, kind of pushing it. It's a new area. This is cool. I love stuff like this.
Yeah, the trailer showed the cutscenes. We have brand new characters. You know, it's the escape mode characters that we had before. I'm into it. Like, I want to see it. I want to see this expanded Gears universe. The Game Pass Ultimate, some people are upset about that. And
I get it.
I don't.
Just like
I don't-
subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate.
That's
'cause
it.
it's-
What are you doing?
there's
I only have PC because I don't want to spend the extra $4. Who cares? It's worth it. It's so
me,
worth it.
For me, because it ropes in gold and
Yep.
stuff like that. Like I just
And streaming.
I don't care. Just do it. Yeah,
And
it's
the
all
people
there.
that are on
Just-
PC are like, I don't care about that. Well, then buy the Hive Busters. I don't know what to tell you. But everybody should have Game Pass Ultimate. Just get Game Pass Ultimate. But I'm also the person that thinks you should rip off the Band-Aid and get rid of all the other things. I'd get rid of Gold. I'd get rid of Game Pass Basic. I'd get rid of everything.
just one sub.
Just one subscription. Let's make it
actually-
easy on people.
I don't necessarily disagree with you. And the more that they're pushing content into Ultimate, I wonder if that's the plan. I suspect
exactly
that's
the
the plan. That's their way to increase the price without increasing the price. So
Exactly.
getting the people who have it at $10 into
Yep.
the $15 tier and then wiping out the 10.
I would imagine we will
6 to 9
see
months.
other DLC expansions come this way. We'll see like Forza expansions hit Game Pass Ultimate. You know, like, hey, if you're in Game Pass Ultimate, here's the Lego stuff. You know, like I expect all of that type of stuff to happen.
Sure.
Especially over time. Because, yeah, I expect they're going to try to move as many people to Game Pass Ultimate as possible. Because not only do they want you to pay the extra price, but they also want to tap into you possibly on mobile. They can't if you're not
Yes.
on Game Pass Ultimate. So they're trying to give you an incentive to move up. So don't hate them for doing it. I mean, I get it. You don't have to spend that extra money, but like it's in their best interest to get you to move up. They're trying to make it valuable incentive for you to do so.
It's also in their best interest to unify it into one thing so it's
Yeah.
not confusing. There's a lot to be said from a consumer standpoint, especially people who get confused. Like there's one card in the Best Buy that you pull for a gift. There's one number that parents have to worry about.
Yep.
I realize that a lot of people are at that $10 tier and it is frustrating. From a business perspective, which, you know, they're a company still, it's much smarter for them to have one thing you click on.
I've
One.
been driving that train for 6 months. I'm just like,
How
get rid
dare
of-
you?
Get rid of everything. Just call it Game Pass. It's
Game
one
Pass.
thing. Because
It's
here's
one
the
thing.
thing: the people I've seen people, and it's mainly I'm picking on the PC folks because that's mainly the folks that I see. But here's the thing: even the PC folks that play on PC, it's like you get such a different experience on PC for Game Pass. You get exclusive indies that are just on PC. You get the Age of Empires, Microsoft
That's
Flight
true.
Sim, and stuff like that. It's like,
That's real.
are you really going to whine about?
Yes, everybody will always whine about
If
something.
they feel like they have
Come
a
on.
case.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
get rid of
everybody-
all of it. Make it one. Like, look,
One thing.
here's the thing: $14.99. It's a no-brainer. I don't care what
He
you're
does
playing
not
on.
work for Microsoft.
It's a
kids.
no-brainer. Just buy the damn pass.
I love you, Donnie.
Quit
I do.
whining about
All
it.
right. So, God. So this was teased on Twitter. The
I have
next
Game
story.
Pass through 2023, and I have like 7 codes that I haven't.
Sweet
that
Jesus.
I can't. I have a pile
Yeah,
of
they only
codes
let
that
you
I
go
can't
3
claim
years.
yet. So here's the thing. That's the other thing. All these people are like, I don't want to pay the extra $5 a month.
You don't have to.
Get deals. Shop. Buy 2, 1, get 1. At Target over Black Friday, they had buy 1, get 1. And then they
Yeah.
accidentally sent out twice that. I bought 3 codes, got 6.
Oops. Damn it, Target. Like, I love that when Target screws up, though, it's not something where we're like mad at them. It's like fortuitous
This is
screw-ups.
sweet. Thanks.
Yeah. Instead of not shipping Xboxes. All right. Next game is Forza Horizon 4, not 5. Calm your britches. 5 is not, we're not talking about 5.
We're getting there.
You're probably not going to get 5 at the Game Awards either. So calm your butt. All right. But let's do this right now. I feel like I need to set expectations. Okay. So they're doing a Super 7 update for Forza Horizon 4. They teased this on Twitter with an image that people who know cars immediately lost their mind over, which is rad. I don't know anything about cars. I know things about motorcycles, not about cars. It's out now.
Yeah.
It's free for
Yep.
everybody, right?
Mhm.
This is a free boy. Explain to me what's in this thing.
Okay. So there are the Super 7, these 7 folks that have challenges for you to complete.
Oh no.
Or you yourself can go and create your own challenges using the blueprint system that they've added to where you can add your own ramps, elevated tracks, and you can drive over lakes. You can, like, basically like what you do with Lego
Yeah.
and Hot Wheels, you can
Yeah.
now do yourself. Or if you don't want to build anything, because that's me, the moment they're like, you can build your own, I was like, never
No,
doing that.
Give me everybody else's though.
But you can do that.
Download them.
That's what you can do. There's a rotation of challenges for you that you can play infinitely. And if you don't like one, you can randomize and pick out another one.
Yes.
And they have
Do
different
that.
difficulty tiers. Early reviews are pretty good. My question
Okay.
for you is whether you're going to play it, because I'm probably not. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm probably not.
I haven't booted up Forza Horizon 4 on this box yet. So yeah, because that gives me something to jump into when I finally boot it up on the Series X. I got lost in Viking Land. Okay. People like,
The thing that I liked
Things
about
happened.
it, I was listening to Jez talk about it because he was reviewing it. And he had mentioned that I think it still takes place like in the open world. So
Cool.
I think they might be like challenges that you can drive to.
Okay.
That kind of fits my experience. Like I don't want to go into Forza like doing time trials or like I'm to be honest with you, I don't even like race much. Like those are the last things that I do if I have to do them to complete a
Dude,
thing.
Do you just do donuts in fields and break everybody's
Just ramps.
crap?
I just want ramps.
I like the
I want
ramps.
ramps, hidden cars, billboards, jumps. Like I just do like the open world activities. So maybe if I was driving around and I saw one and it was like, oh, I'll go try it. I'll try it.
I'll try this. I'll try this because new game modes, stuff like this. I always think it's cool to see what people do with it. And
Sure.
I want an
They
excuse
totally
anyway.
revamped everything just to do this, by the way.
I know, it's so exciting. I love it when companies do this. We actually have a related question, so we'll read them. We'll read these right in line today because you know what, kids, we do what we want here. Ryan says, with the newly added mode to Forza Horizon 4, do you think Jeff Grubb's assessment that Forza Horizon 5 will release in 2021 still holds true? Yeah, I do.
I get zero credit for calling this like months and months ago. It's not real until Jeff Grubb says it.
But it's because you don't have beautiful Scottish locks, okay? I don't know what to freaking tell you, dude, all right? You don't have a conditioning routine.
I love her
That's why.
compare
What's up,
like
Jeff?
on every plug that we got. It was Jeff Grubb on the Xbox Empire show said Forza Horizon 5 might happen. I'm like, I said
Fine.
in September.
I'll take it. No, you get nothing. You're getting nothing. I love you, but you get nothing. I still do think that. I also don't think you should expect to see anything about it at the Game Awards. Expectations have been set via some tweets. Like, we'll have some little
Yeah,
stuff,
Aaron
but
Greenberg
nothing
was
big.
like, hey,
Yes.
I see what
Calm
you guys
down.
are thinking. Please
No.
stop doing that. Don't do that.
They want everyone to calm a tab.
I do think Forza Horizon 5 is next year. I said that before Jeff Grubb did. So for all the reasons that I said it, I still believe it. And honestly, it's as I said to you when I was making the prediction, I think it's out of necessity. They need it. You can't go
without
5
Halo?
years without a Horizon game, even with Halo. Like even when we
Fair.
thought Halo was coming, I was still like, there's got to be something beyond Psychonauts in that year. There has to be.
Sure.
And Horizon's the only thing I could think of.
I disagreed with you at the time because I really did think they would stick to the flip-flop of motorsport, but I'm not going to disagree with a man with hair as majestic as Jeff Grubb. So I'm sorry.
For those of you that are like, I'm not trying to say that I knew it before Jeff Grubb. I didn't know. I was just postulating.
It's just we're joking.
The guess that I was making was based on the fact that when we saw Forza Motorsport, they talked about how they were rebuilding an engine. They were at least 2 or 3 years away. If Forza Horizon 4 came out in 2018, if they're 2 or 3 years away, 2022, they're not going to go 4 years without a Forza game. It's just impossible. That's like Nintendo going 4 years without a Mario game. It ain't going to happen.
They just
Mario will be on something at some point. Like a car will show up somewhere.
There will be a car on a stage.
I don't care if they remaster an old Forza. Like something Forza will release.
Yo, give me Forza Horizon 3 remastered because I would.
That'd be great. And the thing that I was thinking was they're going to take the existing Forza Horizon engine. They're going to do a new setting. They're going to create a bunch of new billboards for you to smash. And it's going to be a lot of the same thing that we've already had. It's going to be Xbox Series X beautiful. It'll be released on Xbox One as well. They need Game Pass content.
Yeah, they do. They don't. You're first party Game Pass content.
Yes.
There's plenty of indies on the Game Pass service. Let me qualify because there's a lot of content, but they don't have anything hot and new coming in fresh besides these extra modes and DLC right now. And I do think they need some.
It might even be a shorter game.
Sure. No, don't do that. I like those.
It might be a shorter game, but like, what if it was a really big expansion? Like if in size, what if it was like a big expansion?
Yeah. Or a drift game, like I said. Give me Tokyo Drift, the video game through Japan.
Forza Horizon
through
Japan.
The streets.
So
Forza Horizon Drift. Give me something like that.
So good.
It doesn't even. I want to play the video game.
Yeah,
Just give me more
So
games.
that was what I was thinking. And the people that are, we're gonna get into this on tonight's show. We're gonna do a 2021 outlook, but I'll just say this. I'll say this now about Forza Horizon 5. We'll save it. Keep going.
Okay. All right. We got 2 more questions. And then we'll talk 2021 because we're getting to the end of the year and we'll talk a little bit about our plans for the last couple episodes of the year at the end here. But I'm tired. So we'll break it down this week before Elaine loses her full mind. Rude Days 93, 2 questions. What/any Xbox exclusive game trailers will we see at the Game Awards? Let's answer this one first. Probably none for something big. Based on tweets.
I disagree.
Really? What do you think? What do you think they show?
I think
Xbox exclusive.
I think it's a really good bet that we see something from the initiative at the Game Awards.
I forgot about that game.
And I think that's big news.
Do you?
Even if it's a teaser, I still think it's big news
Okay. I think
because we've never seen anything from them before.
You're not wrong. Okay. All right. I'm interested to see. I think that based
There
on Greenberg's tweets,
All
I don't
kinds of rumors
expect-
about that studio right now. Have you seen any of
I
those?
know. I have.
Episodic, kind of like Perfect Dark. I'm getting like Hitman vibes. Like what
Don't
what
say
are they
things.
doing over there?
Don't say things that can't happen.
Who knows?
That will disappoint me. I'm interested to see what's going on.
Same.
I don't know if we're going to get it tomorrow or not. I guess we'll find out as of when we were.
I think it's a good guess. Another good guess that's making the rounds is that Master Chief gets added to Fortnite. Now, the image that was making the rounds was a fan image, and I kept trying to point that out to people. That wasn't a leak. People are reporting it as a leak. Like, hey, it's a fan made that up. But Kratos showed up. It makes all the sense in the world for Master Chief show up. I could see a world where Halo Infinite was supposed to launch, and then they had a deal to put Master Chief in Fortnite.
What about the Doom guy?
Yeah, all of
because
it.
he's a cool hunter, and now it's it's close. The deal.
I would do that after you've acquired them, and I would announce the next Doom game or something, and then do it.
But you can't. The thing about Fortnite is it works with the theme.
No, I know, but the thing is,
theme driven.
If you here's the thing: if Doom guy is in it now, then this is Bethesda doing this before they were being acquired.
Sure, absolutely.
Like Xbox isn't going to get any play with that at all. If I was Xbox, I would want to wait.
I think that's an interesting point. I think it would be really, really cool to see.
But Master Chief?
That would just be, yeah, sure, why not?
Master Chief would be an event. Like Master Chief in Fortnite's a big deal.
Kratos in Fortnite's a big deal. Yeah. It's a big deal. These weird tie-ins are great. I think they're fun. And then I could teach my children all about this history of video games.
The whole internet has been talking about predictions and things like that. So there's a lot of things. People are expecting Forza. I agree. Nope. I don't think Forza would be announced there. I mean, anything could happen. But I just don't see Xbox announcing a Forza game at the Game Awards. But who knows?
I don't think Greenberg would have lied. I was back and forth about whether or not they would bring a shiny car out at the Game Awards because we didn't have an E3 event this year. We have no idea what's going to happen for next year. And it's a to-do. The Game Awards are a big thing. But now I don't think so. Greenberg doesn't.
Will be there.
I know. What a weird year. This year is weird. I wasn't going to watch this dumb award show because
Christopher Nolan's like doing a thing.
Let's see if he has a rant.
What is he doing there? He probably hates video
bitching
games.
about.
He probably hates video games.
He's so angry about so many things. They're just giving him a reason.
But you just even before his negative week that he's had, like you just know Christopher Nolan probably hates video games.
With something else that he
just
loves.
The people that love video games, like what we do and streaming, like he's pissed. Hates video games.
Yo, he's gonna get drunk and I'm watching it.
If he Joseph Ferris the video games, that'd be the greatest thing in the world.
I hope it happens. I'm ready. This is why I'm gonna get popcorn. I told my son, get your butt ready. We're gonna do this.
Nice.
All right. There was a second part to this question, excluding Bethesda Game Studios. How dare you? What next-gen exclusive Xbox Studios game are you most excited for?
Easy. Hellblade.
What is it? Oh, crap. Yes.
Hellblade.
Or Medium. I'm excited about Medium. Is that considered Xbox
next
Studios
week,
game?
right?
I know.
Right?
I'm excited.
Is it? No.
I thought it was this week. I thought it was the 10th.
It was January. Is it December? Who knows? I don't remember. I installed it. There's so many games.
We're the most informed Xbox podcast on the internet, y'all. Anyway, I'm excited about both the Medium and Hellblade.
Yeah, Hellblade.
Hellblade looks dope. And
January 28th, 2021 is what Wikipedia says. Maybe that's outdated.
No, I believe Wikipedia. I think it was the 10th and got pushed back.
Moved because of Cyberpunk. Remember I was telling you, I was like, folks are going to move.
That's right.
Yeah, and lots of folks did move.
Because the Medium has real concerns. Like, come on. I don't think that game was done.
Yeah,
anyway,
when they bought Ninja Theory, like that, it's so crazy, but like when they bought that studio, that was like the one for me. Like I know a lot of people are into like Double Fine. Obviously, a lot of people like Minecraft. You know, they've bought a few folks. Obsidian is a big deal. They've got a great pedigree. But I got to tell you, I'm not in love with Obsidian's library. That doesn't do it for me. But I loved Hellblade.
Yes.
And DMC, which is not a lot of people. And I love DMC that Ninja Theory did.
I've played that game through like 4 times.
Game is so good.
I really like it. It might be my favorite Devil May Cry game. It's close.
Right?
Here's what I'm going to say.
I love you. We're perfect for each other. I've gotten so much hell for that for years.
So here's the deal. Devil May Cry 3 is probably
so
the
good.
one. Devil May Cry 3 is probably my favorite, but DMC blows almost everything else.
People are like, it's not platinum. It sucks. It's like, did you play it? Because it's kind of awesome.
It's freaking good. And
so good.
mechanics of juggling and switching weapons in that game
So fun.
exceptional, and they're very smooth. If you have not played DMC Devil May Cry, which is the stupidest title, please do.
So when Xbox acquired them, and then obviously they announced Hellblade sequel, I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm so back in on Xbox, like the brand, the direction, like everything they're doing. I want the new console, I want the Game Pass, and yes, Hellblade. And then like the cherry on top was Fable, but I mean it's Hellblade. Hellblade will be soonish, I imagine.
I think, I mean, I'm excited about the medium, but that's a me thing. And
I am too.
But that one's one that I feel, I'm looking forward to, and it's close. So I feel
Another
like
one of those games that's going to do like probably like the Vikingish thing.
Yeah.
Because they're doing like Iceland, right?
What, Hellblade?
Yeah.
Well, Hellblade is Norse mythology.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So it was already
Viking-ish.
there. It's dark Norse mythology, though. It's way more rooted in like the sort of the darker like aspects of the folklore than it is like the cool, flashy Odin and stuff. I like
people
it.
on stakes and.
That is,
Dude, I love Hellblade. It's a
good game.
I'm all in. Like it was the biggest get for me. Like when they got
Cool. Yeah.
them, I was just like, oh God, I love this franchise. I've got to have an Xbox now.
Ninja Theory has made some games that have
They're
stuck
good.
with me, and they make great games. So
Now we're gonna do our outlook, so I'll just save this. But you said close.
yeah.
All right, let's put a pin in that.
Okay. All right, Yarden Angel, last question, and then we'll do our outlook. Should the Game Awards be in January? Call of the Sea, Cyberpunk 2077, Puyo Puyo, Tetris 2, Haven, all missed cutoff date. I think even Assassin's Creed Valhalla probably did too. Cyberpunk
It was nominated
aside,
for something, but like just one thing,
it was music or art direction or
which
something.
means it won't be nominated next year.
Bums me out.
Yeah.
Because I really like that game.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk aside, I'm afraid no one will even remember these games at this time
Immortals?
next year. Thoughts? Immortals. Here's my thing about this, and I fall in line with Jeff Grubb. I don't hate the Game Awards. I think they're fun. When you take them seriously as awards, as the definitive end-all, be-all of what video games
But
are
you
good,
can't not. You can't. So that my counter argument to that point is that you can't not take them seriously because Jeff Keighley has positioned them as the definitive stance, the definitive opinion on this topic. Like
But
what
also-
IGN or GameSpot says doesn't matter anymore because they're not the Game Awards.
These awards don't sell video games. These awards don't tell you what video game to
I
like.
disagree with you.
And I don't think these
I'm pretty
games-
sure Neo sales went up after it was announced Game of the Year last year.
But we're not talking about a sustained amount of sales here.
Oh,
We're
it's all
talking about
marketing. It's all
this.
marketing.
But we're not. This doesn't. If this single event impacts your,
But you
opinion
can't tell me
on-
if like PlayStation's like, come get PlayStation 5 and play, the most
Award-winning, blah,
first
blah, blah.
party award-winning library in the world. That
I don't-
matters to some people.
Yes, but the percentage is so small. So small. Those people have the box in their house. The people who are watching the Game Awards have already made.
That's true.
Purchasing
They're us. They're us. It's
They're
not so
us.
much who's watching. It's the
not grandma.
ramifications of those ripples.
It's small though, and those ripples, like the amount of sales they actually drive. You don't see stickers on the box that say Game Awards winner.
Yet.
It doesn't happen. No, I don't think it will.
If
Because
Christopher
I think
Nolan and Keanu Reeves keep showing up, I bet it will. That's a big deal.
2020 is weird.
Wait
I
till
think
like what if he
everybody's
gets
just
like
bored.
an HBO deal or something? Like this is a big deal. It's becoming a big deal.
I legit think some of these celebrities are just bored. 2020 is weird. I think
It's 4 hours long. I'm not
It's too
watching any
long.
of this. It's way too long.
this
And
is
they
like
have way too
saying-
many things. They have way too many categories. And it's like
It's
4 award shows into one.
I don't think that if you don't get attention at the Game Awards, your game is written off. I think if you miss the window, you miss the window. And I think that individual reviewers, for the bulk of people who care, drive more decision making than you think. And overall scores. Like, yes, if it wins, that probably does result in a bump of sales. Or you watch the awards because you're an enthusiast.
And if it's a
you're
first party game, I think it's gonna they're gonna ring that bell way more than a third party game.
But I don't think that has as big of an impact as you think, because people who buy first party, like those people that maybe care, the systems are already in the house. The people who are willing to have that fight on the internet, systems already in their house.
That's true. But
You know what I
Yard and
mean?
Angel, I'm gonna say yeah. They should
Okay.
postpone to January.
I agree with
This
that
happens
statement.
every
Only-
year.
We have this conversation every year.
Every year there's 4 or 5 games that, like, here's the thing, the cutoff date should be December 31st, and then the awards shouldn't happen until like January 25th.
I
There
agree
should
with
be
this.
some weeks of time that pass.
However, the best time to stick an award show is when everybody's freaking home for the
I know.
holidays. So I get it. Do you know what I mean?
And
They won't, but I get it.
the thing that all right, so I'm just gonna, this is a Festivus for the Game Awards,
Oh my
an airing of grievances. I have a few grievances that I have with the Game Awards. The reason why I can never like adopt it, like whole arms around it. Number one is actually one of the things Jeff Grubb said. I don't think the people that are voting on it take it seriously. So for the way that it's being positioned so seriously. I kind of hate that nobody seems to take it seriously. It's a position there. The other thing is that it ultimately, for the many years that I've watched it, I think maybe last year was the one exception. For many, many years, it felt like a big marketing ploy. It felt like they were, and I know it is, but it felt like they were going out of their way to make room to make sure that everybody got an award. And when you get in that regard, it doesn't feel legitimate.
This is the issue, because it has been positioned as the only one because it has butted everybody else out, and I get that. But they don't lean into that like the Oscars.
Exactly. It doesn't feel like rewarding. It doesn't feel.
It's not. It's
and that's the thing that I don't like. It is bullshit. And
it is.
That's the
Sorry.
point that I have brought up year over year over year, that people that like the Game Awards have, like, I think, if not liked about me, because I'm at the end of the day, I'm like, it's all bullshit.
Here's the thing. I like them because I think if you take away the my game won
I'd
an
love
award,
to get rid
they
of the
feel-
journalists, and I'd love to make it like a industry only, like a
but
developers inclusion type thing.
But that's the DICE Awards. That's
Yeah, I
what
know.
that-
And the DICE
that's
Awards
what it
feel
is.
so much more valuable
Yes.
as an award.
So what this is if you take away the awards part, it's a fun celebration of a year full of nonsense video games.
And it's a great marketing thing. It's like a new E3. They do brand new games. Like, dude, they're going to do Wolf Among Us 2 tomorrow night. I'm
I
so
know.
excited.
So get pumped about the Game Awards because it's a fun celebration of a hobby you enjoy. Do not hold it up on a pedestal for gold standard for awards. That's the way I position this.
Wouldn't you like it? Would you like it more if they just toned down the categories and made it not so competitive?
Yep.
Best PlayStation game of the year, best Nintendo game of the year.
Or just like, or if they just treated those awards like less of a big deal, but gave me more of the silly content and the trailers. We don't need an award show.
I love the developer stories. Like when the game gets an award, you see the developers, you get to meet them,
I
you
like
see the studio. Yeah, I love all of that.
I think put your brain around the fact that it is a celebration of your hobby, and it does not matter who wins the categories as long as everybody is like, as long as you like wrap your arms around the celebration, because that's what it is. This is the end of the cherry on the top of an end of a year, like, of excitement for games.
Yeah.
Look at it that way.
Yep. And last year it was a great show.
It's fun. I'm
not going to watch it. I'm going to follow the announcements on Twitter. I'm going to turn on alerts
I'm
for
gonna-
Wario. I'm going to play Cyberpunk and just see what happens.
I'm gonna watch it because my kids. It's fun with kids. They get into the excitement, so we're gonna.
Jack
watch it.
thinks Master Chief's going to be there. He told me. He said, Dad, Halo's going to announce the Fortnite tomorrow. I was like, how do you know that? He was like, there's an award show. Or no, this is what he told me. He goes, I don't know if you know about it. There's a conference happening.
I love when my
He goes,
kids do stuff.
there's
like
a conference
this.
happening, and he told me the Fortnite store, I don't know, refreshes it. I don't know, like right before
at
it does or
certain
something.
times.
He's like,
Okay,
it's
No,
going to happen, Dad.
I love it. That's cute. You know, he's been watching YouTubers who are having
YouTubers, I know.
And my kids do this too. It's cute. All right, let's do this. Let's break down 2021 and what we're looking at on Xbox consoles.
I wanted to do this. All right, so the title of the show
This
is
is
called
his idea.
The 2021 Outlook. And we had a commenter from the Jeff Grubb Show who was like, I think 2021 is better than you think it is. And I realized at that moment that I could have worded my question to Jeff better and I think us three understood what we were talking about.
Yes, this.
I was talking
happened.
about first party. There's
Okay.
plenty to play on Xbox in 2021, but first party output might be a little light. But just in case, if you wanted to be reminded, because we should say this now, we're going to do next week's show. It's probably going to be a Game Awards news recap and, like a standard thing. And then that'll be our last show for the year.
However, your feed will update.
Yes.
The feed will update with 2 additional shows on the regular release days going into the last 2 weeks of the year.
We have some
Donnie and I
special
played-
recordings that will go out. So you will have stuff over the holidays. But Elaine and I are going to take a break from the weekly thing because I need it personally.
My voice is thrashed. I'm exhausted. By the end of next week, my voice will be destroyed because we're recording extra things for you guys. Your feed will update. You'll have cool stuff to listen to while you make Christmas cookies.
Yeah, it just won't be timely like whatever's happening that week, right? It'll be new stuff.
there'll be no more timely news.
There won't
after
be over
this.
Christmas.
This
Nothing's
is
gonna happen.
probably it.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
all right.
So
Let's
I
do
thought if we don't come back until after New Year, then we should probably talk about what we're looking forward to next year.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this.
So I wrote down first-party exclusives. These are either exclusives. These are exclusives coming out of the internal teams. It's not including Bethesda quite yet, but it's also going to include exclusives that we know that they've purchased. So like second-party, third-party deals or Game Pass deals. So we have Psychonauts 2, which I expect to be somewhat early.
First half of the year, and I'm excited
before March.
Really,
before the end of March.
I was going to go March, April.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in the same ballpark.
Halo Infinite, which we know is next fall.
You know, we'll get there. I'm excited to play Halo.
Same.
But don't just hold it until it's done.
I'm excited to play Halo. The Medium, which is out in January.
We discussed the Medium. I'm really looking forward to the Medium. I was a little
Silent
sad that
Hill
it got
horror game.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Are you excited from any gameplay that you've seen? Because every time I've watched gameplay, I have been underwhelmed. The theatrical trailers look great. The gameplay, I'm like, I don't know if this game is really good.
Let me say that as a person, I can tolerate a lot of bad gameplay if the vibe and the characters and the story are interesting to me.
The vibe is good.
And the vibe is good. So
Yeah.
I'm willing to gut through like subpar gameplay if I'm there for what the game wraps me up in.
A lot of walking.
And that's what the
That's
well
what
that's
I've
fine.
seen so far. A lot of walking. It's kind of slow.
I'm okay with that if the vibe supports it, if it's creepy and it's uncomfortable and
you're
it's like
scared. Yeah.
messes with your brain. Like, so I'm fine with it. But yes, I agree with what you're saying.
I'm inordinately excited for The Gunk.
I don't. This is a bad. There's 2 back-to-back real bad names here, but this one looks cool. Yes,
The Gunk.
and I have no idea when this is supposed to be out.
Yeah, what they showed looked a little rough. That was back in August.
Yep.
I imagine this may be summer or next fall if I was to put a date on it. I do think it will be out next year. I think that's why they entered an agreement to it. This is Image Inform, the SteamWorld Heist folks. They're really good at making games.
They are some of my favorites. So,
One of the things that I've said about Game Pass for the whole time, everybody's like, which studio are they going to buy? I'm like, they don't have to buy studios. If they're going to throw money around, go find an indie dev and buy 5 or 6 indie games a year.
Agreed.
Just get exclusivity on it. Crossfire X.
I cannot hear the title of this game without hearing the
Crossfire! Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
like, and then it runs in my head for like 4 straight days, and I have to play the commercial on YouTube and scream at my husband, "Do you remember this stupid commercial?"
We were supposed to have this game.
And they pushed it.
They pushed it. And Remedy's doing the campaign.
Now
So-
that makes me excited.
So I may not understand this. I may not have this correctly, but my belief is that we get the multiplayer for Game Pass, but the campaign we'll have to pay for.
If that's true, that's weird.
I think that's what it is. I think we have to buy the campaign separately. And I think they're almost kind of like a dual but separate type of release type thing that they're trying to do with this.
Sure, fine. Like I'm only interested in the campaign. I'm not
Same.
going to play
I'm
the
not going to
multiplayer.
play the multiplayer
This
either.
isn't in a shooters thing.
Yep.
So I buy it like at release? I guess it depends on what
A
people
Remedy
say.
narrated shooter? Yeah, I'll buy it.
Yeah, probably.
I'll buy it. It looks good, and people that played it had nice things to say about it. I mean,
Yeah. When did they launch window Crossfire X? Did they tell us when?
nah.
They just said 2021.
I'd expect it first half 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Q2.
Yeah, Q2.
Q2. The next one is Tunic. Tunic looks adorable. I cannot wait to play Tunic.
Might be so. I was talking to the guy that reached out to us and was like, hey, and actually we had somebody else, John from the Megadads was like, man, 2021 looks a little light, and I was like, I'm so excited for like Tunic and 12 Minutes and the Artful Escape, these indie games. I'm more excited for these than I am for Forza Horizon 5. I'm so excited to play Tunic.
I'm just excited to play Tunic. If you get me with a cute game, like I'm all in. Cat Quest was a cute ass game.
It's Zelda Fox.
Yeah, I'm
gonna buy that game. It's
so
going
good
to
here.
Game Pass. I'm gonna buy the game.
This is the type of game that I've done with Game Pass a few times where I play it on Game Pass and then I buy a copy on another system because I love it. And like I did this with Crossfire. I bought a Switch copy because it's like I love this game.
Crosscode.
Crosscode, sorry. God.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And I'm-
Crossfire. Ba-na-na-na-na.
I can see the commercial.
The little boy with like the bowl cut. He's like,
Oh, it's a bowl cut. There's the hole. They're all standing around. There's lightning bolts in the background. Sick. Remind me that. Crosscode is the game I bought
Yeah,
after
I
playing
knew.
Game Pass. And I would probably do it with something like Tunic. I've done it with Cat Quest before. If I fall in love with an indie game, I will always buy a copy of the indie game physically because I
Yep.
like it, especially one with good art. So you mentioned 12 Minutes and The Artful Escape, two more indies. Do we have dates on any of these last three?
12 Minutes was possibly launched like the month after, so I think 12 Minutes is not far away.
January, February? Not
If
far away?
If I had to bet, I think it comes before the end of March. If I had to place a bet.
They need to put something in the deep, dark months of winter here because it's a good time for these littler games that drop onto Game Pass to get attention.
12
There's
Minutes
nothing-
is very exciting. They've got like Willem Dafoe and other like big
That was
celebrities and
huge.
stuff. Yeah. And 12 Minutes was at E3 2 years ago. And it's this great little indie game where it's basically like Groundhog Day. You keep like going in a circle, but every time you
Right.
go through, you find a new clue that leads you to a different outcome. And you just kind of keep doing it. I was very excited for it when it was first shown. And then they have all these amazing actors and actresses lending to the project. And it's very exciting.
It's high production value Minute. I don't know if you played Minute or Half Minute
Did it.
Hero, stuff like that. They've kind of got this idea of like little chunks of time and then you rewind and you start from where, fresh. But this is like, it's got the vibe. I'm not saying it's a bite off it or it's a direct comparison, but
It's
like,
very like noirish and like
Yeah.
like the cop comes, but then you realize the cop's coming, so the next time you try to make sure like you don't answer the door,
Exactly.
stuff like that. And like I'm here for that.
this looks very cool. I like
Yeah.
the art style of this one too.
Speaking of art style,
Yeah.
The Artful Escape
Looks gorgeous.
used to be The Artful Escape of Vincent Vendetti, I believe.
It was too long. I'm
It
glad
was
that they
ridiculous.
I'm glad that they clipped it down.
I think they showed it 3 years ago, might be even longer. And I remember the day that they showed it. I think Nathan, the Emperor, who founded the show, was like, "This is a Donnie-ass game I've ever seen."
Yeah.
Dude's
When you
like
look-
rocking a guitar, neon effects are going everywhere. It's a
Everywhere.
platformer. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love this game. I'm
I'm
real
excited
excited for this one as well.
Bright Memory Infinite is interesting. I
Not
don't even know.
excited for this at all.
I'm gonna play it. 'Cause this is the type of person. that-
Yeah, I mean, it looked good when they showed it in August. Before I knew what it was, before I played Bright Memory, I was excited about it. I thought it looked great, and it did. Like, it visually was stunning.
Yeah.
Having played Bright Memory, though, the gameplay just left me so down and like just it's
Why
not.
did you play that?
I shouldn't
and
have.
not
I wish I
just
hadn't because it's
You
not.
should play it.
And here's the thing. I've listened to other people that played Bright Memory when it released on Series X for like what's it like $7 now.
Yeah, it's super cheap.
Everybody that I all these other podcasters I listen to, they all hate it. They're like, I played this and it's not good because it's not like the gameplay is not polished.
right.
It's like a game from 15 years ago.
I knew that was gonna happen. I was like, we're gonna just
But
wait.
that demo looked so good. So
I
like
know. You should've waited.
maybe it'll surprise us. Maybe it is good and I just don't know it yet. But that first
one's-
game was not good.
The next one is Session. Session is the skateboarding game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've been waiting on
I-
that one for a while.
I'm excited about this. I love me a good skateboarding.
Yeah,
game.
I'll play any skateboarding game. So I'm not excited for it, but I'll play it whenever it arrives. It should be next year. It's been out there for a while now. I'm actually kind of surprised we don't have it yet.
Yeah. I think that Tony Hawk remaster made them go, you ain't competing with
Good
the king.
point. Get out of the way.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Just move out of the way from the
Good
king.
point.
Like if you're gonna, and that was an exceptional remaster. So give it some space. We've got the Ascent. This one I'm not as familiar with.
Was
and I
supposed to be a launch title. Was supposed to be a day and date Series X, Series S launch title into Game Pass. It's very, very good. Looks very, very good.
Interesting.
I imagine that this will be one of those games that we'll probably get. And here's the thing, because it's already been delayed, maybe they want to try to start to space these out a little bit. It's like a
Yeah.
action RPG.
I was just gonna say, but cyberpunk vibe, not 2077,
Cyberpunk
but
meets like
in that
kind of like a
world.
Diablo type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isometric RPG.
Yeah.
It's got the Disco Elysium kind of like
Yes.
isometric.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm in.
Combat
I
looks
remember
good,
this.
looks crunchy. I imagine it's
Crunchy.
probably January, February. I
would
think
love
it's
that.
soonish.
Get in the mood if the writing is good.
It's
for a
supposed to
game
be in
like that.
November. You know, so like if it was supposed to be here now, like I can't imagine it's going to be in May. Like,
COVID has made everything very weird for software
yeah,
development.
that's
though.
the hard part with all of this.
It's going to get weird. So now the last two that we had Grounded, which essentially would put it in 1.0. And then we have
Yeah.
the Outer World Peril on Gorgon expansion.
Yep.
They can put these two games anywhere
Yep.
in the launch calendar and it will be fine.
That can fill it
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, I think that these will be fillers for them.
I also think, I didn't put this on the list, but I also think you've got to expect a Microsoft Flight Sim will hit Xbox at some point.
Really?
Yeah, I think ray tracing for Minecraft will hit Xbox at some point, like
I
console.
agree with that one. I 100% agree. You're going to get ray tracing for Minecraft on Series X this
I expect
year.
Age of Empires to show up on console at some point.
I do not personally, because they've
Okay.
never done it before, and that would be a very big to do.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was showed up on console but required mouse and keyboard.
I don't think they'll do that.
I keep waiting for that shoe to drop.
I don't think they'll do that. You can play quite a few games with mouse and
Right.
keyboard. They quietly have support, but I don't think that they can put Age of Empires on the console and require it.
Okay.
I think they would have to adapt it to controller, and I just don't think it's going to work. But I love to be wrong. Age of Empires is bomb. It's probably my favorite RTS of all time.
Most people love it, and that's the thing that I think it's a little strange that they've done so much cross-pollination. It's a little strange it hasn't showed up on Xbox. So if they just can't make it work with a controller, if it were me,
Reason.
put it over there and say you got to use a mouse and keyboard.
I don't know that they're willing to make that the game that they do that with. Do you know
Okay.
what I mean? Because they haven't done that before. That
Sure.
would be a first. I don't know, but I would like I said, I love that game. I would love more people to Age of Empires. I'd love.
Can't
to
be
be
that
wrong.
damn hard. How many games support both?
Why would you say
I mean,
something
how
like
many
that out loud?
RTSs support controllers and keyboard? We act like
Not-
it's impossible. It's not impossible. A lot of
Not many. I think the Lord of the Rings one did it okay. There was a Lord of the Rings one,
obviously
and
of
then
Halo Wars.
there was Halo Wars. I have not. I can't think of another one.
Okay.
There have been lots that haven't. So, all right, we've got some maybes, and we talk about Bethesda in the maybes. I don't see a new Bethesda game in 2021.
Oh, I definitely do.
You think they'll put out Starfield in 2021?
I think Starfield or Wolfenstein 3 launches in 2021. Absolutely. And I think
would
the reason
say-
we don't know about them, the reason we haven't heard about them is because of the acquisition.
I agree with that statement. I
Yeah.
don't know that. Boy,
Perhaps COVID pushes them. Perhaps. I'm totally
Yeah,
willing to
that's
believe
what
spring
wondering.
2022.
Two.
I will believe that. But if you're asking me today to make a bet, I make a bet that Starfield or Wolf 3 or both launches Xbox by the end of the year, by the
My
end of
bet is-
2021.
I'm forced to make a call. I'm gonna say Starfield end of the year.
Starfield's been in development for a very long time, like
Yeah,
5
but-
years.
They make broke ass games, and I
But
don't
that's
think
the point. Like they make broadcast games, they release them anyway. So why hold it?
Microsoft might not be cool with that anymore.
Nah, they just
The
release
rules-
they release early access stuff all the time. Bleeding Edge and Grounded, like just get it
I
out
don't know.
there.
I think COVID pushes both of these to 2022.
And that's
my call.
possible, very possible.
That's what I think. I think Starfield is going to be a big deal. 'cause
I think
it's a
they
new
need
IP.
it though, and I think they'll try.
Maybe. And if I had to choose one, I would say it would be Starfield because they've shown it already. And then because Wolf, they haven't set any expectation that's even existing. They
It's
just
a
pushed
while now,
it.
right?
But the last one they did with Wolfenstein didn't do well.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter now. It's a Game Pass now, so it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, but my point is like, well, let's take our time with this one. and make it
Wolfenstein
not-
2, October 27th, 2017.
I know. That's only 3 years.
How's the Machine Games been doing? They're doing something.
Are they on the Deathloop stuff? Who is
No.
doing that?
That's Arcane.
That's Arcane.
I mean,
God,
I guess you
I
could
missed
say they
that.
did Youngblood.
They did do Youngblood, and that
Does
did
that
come
count?
out. Yeah, no, but you had to build the game. Like God,
It's not that
this
bad.
is why people are going to tweet at us. All right, I think Forza Horizon 5 comes out next year.
I agree. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to see you've come over. I
Like
think
I said, beautiful Scottish locks.
They need it.
Has convinced.
that's the thing
Yes,
is that
I
they
agree.
really need it. They need it more than than anything else they could possibly do.
Remind me of the launch window for the previous Horizon games, because they were not. Were they fall? Were they September, October?
I'll have to look it up.
I
think it
feel
was-
like it has to be before Halo. So I would call September.
I would call it summer, but Forza
Yeah.
Horizon 4 released October 2nd.
I think September, if they're smart.
That's
at
fine.
the latest.
Yeah.
But and then you have the next game from Compulsion on here.
It's another sleeper for tomorrow night at the Game Awards. We could see
Okay.
Compulsion's game.
Yeah.
They're working on something. They've been at work for a while. It's like 3 or 4 years since We Happy Few.
Yes.
We Happy Few was not good.
I agree, and I wanted to like We Happy
So did I.
Few. That
Who did it, right? You see all this Bioshocky art and everything. Like everybody wanted to love it, and then you started playing the game, and you're like, "Oh, this isn't good."
A tough experience.
Yeah.
It was not super fun. I liked
Beautiful
what-
art style.
I loved the story it was trying to tell.
Yeah.
Actually,
If
I
it would
just
get the
didn't like-
game out of its way to tell you that.
I wish it was a narrative experience because
I
the
liked-
game was so
I liked Contrast more. Contrast, a launch title for PlayStation 4 that team did.
I remember that game. I would agree with you.
I would like for the next game to be not Contrast 2, but to be something more like that, a simpler, easier to access game.
Or take lessons learned from We Happy Few and make the gameplay match
If you can
what
make
you
it
want.
better and actually make it good and polished, then sure. But after We Happy Few, I'm questionable.
Yeah, I didn't play the DLC for We Happy
Xbox
Few.
has a lot of games that I think are, I don't want to say inaccessible because they've done a really good job on that, but niche and hard to get into. And boy, could they just use, like, especially Game Pass, especially in 2021, just a real easy game for everybody to play. Not like easy, but you know what I'm saying? Like a platformer or something that's normal that we all can just, everybody go play this.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Like if they did like a Call of the Sea type game with their art style chops, yes, do that. That sounds amazing.
Like I said, I'm okay with them being adventurous with gameplay. I'm okay with them trying to take what We Happy Few had and make it good. Like they've had all those lessons learned. I would love that. You know what I mean? I would really love it to work. I wanted it to work for me so bad. So I don't know. We'll see.
The other thing about Compulsion is over the last 2 years, they have moved into a big new office building and they have, I think, doubled in size.
Is that true?
Yeah. No, that's legit.
We Happy Few did not sell well. Did
No,
it?
this is just Microsoft. Microsoft bought them and has been putting all the money into them.
Interesting.
They've hired a bunch of people.
Well, I would love a trailer from Compulsion tomorrow night.
I think that might be even more plausible than the Initiative. Everybody wants the Initiative because they're dying to see Joanna or Perfect Dark or just something new because it's quadruple A and they've hired all these Naughty Dog and Crystal Dynamics people and everything. Like everybody wants that to be the thing, but Compulsion's next. Like they're the one that's been away for the longest. Like they should be next up.
I just wonder. This year has led me to wonder how much moving and shaking has happened with this type of stuff because of this virus, and like how it's changed workflow, and like what was. I would love to.
That's
know.
the reason why the Initiative might be further away because they haven't been together and working on some. Compulsion has.
I wonder to death what the plan was for 2020 before all this. I would pay so much to see like a historical look back on this year of what video games were going to look like if the plan had been executed.
Yeah.
It would be fascinating. I just think it would be interesting from a historical point of view.
You know,
you're going to get to game.
The fun part about video games is that I think every year becomes next year more often than not.
Yeah,
We've been doing this for like the last 4 or 5 years. Like even before the thing, it's like 2016 is gonna be the greatest year of video games ever. Half of 2016 gets delayed into 2017. 2017 is gonna be the best year ever. Gets delayed into 2018. Like this happens all the time.
This one has been more egregious because it has been more egregious. I mean, we've delayed a Halo game by an entire
Yeah, if we had a
year.
Halo and a Cyberpunk and everything was on time, it
would be weird.
Yeah.
I think that it would just be cool in a decade for someone to go back and talk to some of these studios and be like, yo, what was the plan? And just see what they could wring out of like what those documents said about when
so
things
hard.
would be out. I know.
Games
it's
are
wild.
so hard.
Games are hard. All right, third party games. There are a couple. I'm pumped. Hitman 3 is January. I am so excited for Hitman 3. I'm going to murder someone by
never
throwing a
played 'em.
blueberry muffin. Oh my God, they're so ridiculous.
I think they're so hard. Like I think I've played one, like a demo or a trial or a chapter
They
at
are
Game Pass,
hard.
and they're really hard. I'm like, and I don't typically like stealth games because I always get caught and I just want to shoot people and be awesome.
You can't do this in this game.
And Hitman's like, nope.
I'm usually like you. We've talked about my Viking style is basically, oops, I'm murdering
I'm
your
full
face.
bear tree.
But
I'm like, oh, he's the assassin. I'm like, damn right I am. Come get some.
meanwhile, so Hitman is the only game that's an exception to my I'm bad at stealth
I'll walk
rule. I
into
don't
the
know why.
city with a big sign that says it's me.
Just arms out.
Come at me, bro.
I try so hard to be so sneaky, but Hitman is the game I'm willing to commit because I can wear stupid costumes and murder people with dumb crap. It's good, and I'm pumped, dude.
That's exciting.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World also
Now,
January.
this I'm pumped for.
This is January 14 digitally.
Yeah.
They are working
$14.99.
They are working out a deal to get a physical copy made with someone limited
I'm
run
definitely
or
gonna
somebody
buy
like
one of
that.
those.
I would buy one of those.
I was so
this is
upset
exciting.
when they announced the because it's not a remaster, which is also upsetting.
No.
This is just a port of the
Basically
regular game.
Basically getting-
So upset with all that this game has gone through and its legacy that they didn't announce a physical copy when it came out.
Yeah.
It's like, do you have any idea how many people will just buy a physical copy just to have one?
Yes, because they don't trust you.
Because they don't trust you to take it away from
them.
them.
I don't trust anything anymore. This is why I own so many stupid Switch games, because I don't trust any of you.
Yep.
Please, special reserve or limited run or someone make a deal with Ubisoft for this thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Far Cry 6 Q1?
Stoked.
I'm pumped.
They pushed it. It was supposed to be
March?
Q1 and they pushed it. It was supposed to be...
I thought it was supposed to be this year and they pushed
No,
it.
it was. It's definitely... It was supposed to be Q1 and they pushed it, I think, until the summer.
Fine.
They did say a
Perfect.
date. I don't know how much you can take on that date, but
Doesn't matter.
yeah, it doesn't matter now. Now that they've pushed it, who knows?
I don't
But it
care.
will be this year. I love Far Cry 5. Awesome.
I'm so excited.
It's another reason why you're great here in the show with me, because
I love
Far Cry 5, one of my favorite games of this entire generation.
Oh wow, I wouldn't go that far, but I really, really, really
And
liked it.
this was my first introduction. It was my introduction to Far Cry. I never played the other ones until Far Cry 5.
Oh, dude, 4 is.
I went back.
good.
Didn't like 4. Didn't like Primal. I liked 3.
3
It
is
was
good, too.
older, but I liked it. But it lost my save about 5 hours in, and I didn't want
3
to
and
replay it.
3 and 4 have great villains, and
But
I'm a
5
and this one 5 is good.
5 I adore. The Seed family, the setting, the visuals. Like I adore. I beat it in like 4 days.
Play New Dawn? Did you
played
play
it-
the?
Oh yeah, I played.
That was cool.
I played Far Cry 5 like 12 hours a day for like 5 straight days. That's how into that game I was.
I'm
all
excited
in.
for 6. The box art is good. I'm pumped. Let's go. I'm
Yeah.
more excited for the next game on this list. I'm more excited for Resident Evil Village. I really, really loved Resident Evil 7, like a lot. And
Are these trailers
It's-
doing it for you then? Because this is a
Yeah,
vast
dude.
different thing. This
Yes.
is all those vampires and
it's got the werewolves and the, and the
werewolves.
zombies.
It's more
and
like the
but-
Order type stuff.
But they're bringing Ethan back,
Mhm.
and so that story continues. And I'm interested to see what they do with it. And also,
Seems a little zany, which I'm all for.
it seemed zany when they did 7, and it works so well that I'm willing to give them this
Oh, yeah.
and say, "Yeah,
Sure.
I'm coming along for you on this ride. Let's go."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If the plan is to like just keep doing Resident Evil in like different times and different cultures, it's like, yeah, sounds awesome.
this. I mean, I loved the 2 and 3
Kind of
remakes,
Assassin's
and
Creed.
yeah, sure. I
Yeah.
loved 2 and 3 remake. They were great, like
Yeah, I agree.
hold me overs, but
Mm-hmm.
I want more first person Resident Evil's freaking scary, dude.
Yeah.
I'm here for this.
And we're
So,
going to get Village and then Resident Evil 4 remaster next year.
I don't need Resident Evil 4 to be
Yeah,
remastered.
that's going to be the big one.
I know how people feel about that
We're
game.
going to do RE Engine. I'd
Yeah,
rather
so
play like Resident Evil 5 remastered in RE Engine.
Resident Evil 5 is not a good video game.
But if they redid it, it could be.
They would have to redo a lot of problems that I have
Sure.
with that game. And then let's not talk about 6 because we're not going to do that today. Okay, Rainbow Six Quarantine is
Yep.
also sometime next
At some
year.
point.
Batman Gotham Knights, maybe sometime next year. Outriders is February.
Hmm.
That's cool. Lord of the Rings Gollum.
Yeah.
I'm cautious,
Yeah.
but I
I'm hesitant to buy into that
don't-
one.
don't know if I care.
Like, if
Is
you
that
want to
bad?
give me a Lord of the Rings game that's like Assassin's Creed, Shadow of Mordor, I got a sword stuff, awesome.
Maybe more Shadow of Mordor.
You want me to be Gollum? Nah, that
don't
doesn't
do
sound
that.
as fun.
Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga.
Totally down for this.
Lego Star Wars are fun.
I'm
Like,
so
let's-
excited for this. I remember
you
it was
really?
announced. I think Kevin threw me some shade. I'll never forgive him for this because I was so excited for this. And he was like, really? They're
this is-
remaking every
Right.
Lego Star Wars
Yeah.
game and they're releasing them together as one collection.
For $60 or
That's
$70
insane.
or whatever. That's a lot
That's
of
so
content.
many games.
I will probably buy it because when the originals came out, I either didn't have kids or my children were too small. So this will be fun.
It's a
for
great
us
way to
as a
relive
group.
those stories. You
And
know,
they're silly and-
yeah, and they're silly. And it's just good game
Yeah.
fodder.
It's good fun stuff. Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis.
I got nothing for you there.
I'm not a PSO person. I know people who are freaking hyped. So
Yeah.
cool. I'm glad for you guys. Chorus, which is one I'm not familiar with.
Chorus was the game Chorus was the game in the showcase that was like the Everspace, like the space shooter, like all kind of
yes.
weirdy type thing.
Sure.
So I'm excited for that one. It does. I checked their website before I put them in the list. It does seem like they're marked for 2021.
All right.
So
Good.
yeah, we'll see.
Little Nightmares 2 is February. I enjoyed the first game.
I
It's good.
didn't like the first
No,
one.
fair
It
enough.
wasn't for me.
That's fair. Warhammer 40K, Dark Tide. The names of the Warhammer 40K games
This
make
is the
my
co-op
brain
shooter,
go, what?
right?
Oh, cool. Okay.
It's like
Oh,
Left 4
yes.
Dead, I think, co-op shooter, and it's console exclusive at least at launch.
Weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
What are you, Warhammer? What you doing?
Hmm.
All right. They did another shooter that I played on 360, and I liked it. So maybe I like this.
When they showed this, I was on the live stream with Josh and Kevin. I think I asked them, and they were telling me the other Warhammer game was good too.
Space Marine, Warhammer 40K Space Marine.
No clue.
I enjoyed it.
I got no clue.
I'll shoot more things in a Warhammer 40K universe. Let's do it. Echo Generation.
Yep. Talked about that one earlier. It's going to come out.
Wolf Among Us 2 is probably getting announced tomorrow
I'm
night.
so excited about this news.
Let's go.
I hope it's good. I mean, if they miss the landing, it's going to be upsetting because I love the first one. My wife and played it together. So
yeah,
I think I'm going to replay it. Actually, I told her that the sequel was coming. She was like, she'd forgotten all about it. We played it years ago. And I was like, we should replay it. And here's the thing. They announced that game at the Game Awards like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
When Skybound took over the Telltale and all that stuff.
All the Telltale stuff.
So it's been in some kind of development, although I'm pretty sure they've completely redone it. But here's the thing. It might be closer than people think.
Well, episode 1 might be.
Right. It could be sooner than people are expecting.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes. Especially if they're going to give you the episodic dump. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Hogwarts Legacy. Why did I think this was a PS5 exclusive?
I have no idea.
I think Hogwarts Legacy is set to PS5.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
I think I pulled that from a blog post that I was reading trying to find games.
I could be wrong. Look, I'm tired. The next one on this list I'm really excited about. Nier Replicant I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
And that is April. And I pre-ordered the dumb special edition from the Square store because every time I don't do that for these games, I regret it and they go to thousands of dollars on eBay.
That's insane. I really like Nier Automata. Not enough to play it more than once. I played the one campaign and I didn't keep going through it, and I know you're supposed to.
I get choked up at the end of that game. That's a very good game. Nier Replicant is basically a remake of Nier, the game that came out on the 360 PS3 era.
And I never played that one.
I have not either. I own it, but
is
I have not.
Is that better or worse than?
I don't know. I know that going back to Nier after playing Automata is impossible. But it lives in that universe, and the stories are intertwined between those two games. And then Drakengard, the stories intertwined through as well. So if you care about weird anime stuff, there's weird anime stuff, y'all.
Oh, I imagine I'll get into it at some point.
And then Braid Anniversary Edition is the last one we've got here. They're doing that? How did I not know this was? I don't know that I need to play Braid again.
Oh, I want to remaster. They showed the comparisons, and here's the thing about the comparisons they did is, I think there's a case to be made that the old style is better than the new one, at least in the comparisons that they made. But I still want to have the other one.
I think it's interesting because I don't know now knowing what the game is that I want to go back and do it again. Like the experience, the closed ball experience of that game was like, I'm good. I enjoyed it, but I don't. Now that I know what's happening, I don't know if it'll have the same impact. So
we have Gordon in the chat. He says, if Darktide is as fun as Warhammer Vermintide is, it'll be great.
Vermintide is there.
I think that was the one I was thinking about. Yeah.
Okay, so Vermintide is it's not a shooter, but it is a Left 4 Dead style, and Vermintide is cool. So let's go.
So I wrote these down.
Okay.
Not coming in 2021. So when you go and you Google Xbox games that are coming in 2021, there are a lot of blog posts, like on GameSpot, which I find is very just misleading because they know better, that are listing like Fable.
No.
And Avowed.
Announced, but not like shown, but
coming
not
out.
No.
Next year. Stalker 2.
I don't think so.
I don't think we'll get Avowed or Fable or Stalker 2 until like 2022 or 2023.
2022, maybe.
2024 for all of them.
We have seen nothing of State of Decay 3, right? No, not yet. Next
year. We saw a little thing.
Dying Light 2 is never coming out. I want to play it.
I do think Dying Light 2 comes out next year. I think it comes out next fall.
You think fall of 2021?
I do.
For Dying Light 2.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to put that one in here, because they did delay it indefinitely, but remember, it was marked to come out this fall.
Which is why it won't, because if it's delayed and it was supposed to come out this year,
yeah,
I think that COVID pushes that to early 2022.
I mean,
I don't think you dropped that game. I don't know. I don't think so. I think I'm just like afraid to get my hopes up on Dying Light.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I said it. That demo that they showed was unbelievable. Like the amount of things that were happening that took place. It felt so scripted, but it was so organic that I had a hard time believing that it was a real video game.
Probably wasn't at the time, or maybe it was, and it was just a very
It's
tight
a vertical
slice.
slice of what they were trying to do.
I want to play this game in 2021.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to get my hopes up because I really like Dying Light,
Same.
and I don't want to cry again. Forza Motorsport, I think we've discussed.
Not coming out.
I guess I can't argue with Grubb and you on this one anymore. But in a perfect world, they might have done Motorsport. They might have kept their flipping. They might be seeing that they sell more copies of Horizon, even off Game Pass, and it's got more engagement. So, and then Scarlet Nexus, boy. I want to play this video game, but I don't know that I'm going to be playing it in 2021.
Yeah, that one's interesting because a lot of their dates for that in their website and things I was looking up are all TBD.
Yeah.
They're all just like, it'll be out. I could see it next year. I mean, they did show it and everything. What they showed looked
good.
Yeah, like the content, like complete. Like it wasn't like a, like a cinematic trailer. Like here's what we're going for. No, it was gameplay, and they showed a lot of it. So I imagine they're further along than we think they are. This is like the Astral Chain type game, which I loved Astral Chain, and this game looked a lot like Astral Chain. So
I would love for this game to be 2021, and I actually think it could be a great summer release because that's a time when you don't have to deal with, and especially if you're going to come off of a release like Nier Replicant, where people are like, "Ooh, I like nonsense anime stuff. Maybe I'll like this too." June, July, August, but maybe it's just that's a want and not an I think. I really don't know when this will be out.
Yeah.
So
in short, that's over 30 games that we expect to come out, and that's not counting the things that we know. Madden, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
We'll have a new Battlefield game next year.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so that'll come back around. Well, there'll be another Assassin's Creed. There'll be another Ubisoft something or another. Like we know the games that come out, right? So we'll have plenty of games to play. There's plenty of games. If you're buying a Series S or a Series X, don't think that there's not. And they're going to have 10 or 15 indie games that launch in Game Pass and 10 or 15 ports and things that show up in Game Pass and things like that. There's an inordinate amount of things to play. You can't play it all.
There are more video games right now than you can play.
Yeah. There are more console exclusives in Game Pass that I haven't got to. That's the funniest thing is you see it on Twitter and people are like, Xbox has no console exclusives. I'm like, there's 6 console exclusives that I have. I've only got to play 2 of them so far.
This release window, I have a grip of games sitting over on the thing that are still in cellophane. I cannot keep up. And if you only own one console, you only own one console. That's where you're going to buy your games. So who cares if they come out on both? You know what I mean? But like if you own a console, there's going to be something to play. And if you just sub to Game Pass for $1 for 3 months, and it's your first time ever doing that, like enjoy your scroll. There's a lot of really good stuff in there. And
Bethesda hasn't even showed up yet.
And they haven't even started putting that stuff in. Although you can play Doom Eternal, and it's real freaking good, dude. You will have video games to play.
Oh,
the only people
tons to play.
You're either going to have one of two problems. You're either going to be a teenager who has more time than money, which is why you tell mom and dad you're a Game Pass for your birthday, or you're going to be an adult like me who has more money than time.
Some of like the forum fodder seems just a little disingenuous because it seems like they only count first party exclusives and like in these timelines and these comparisons that they make. And I understand why, right? Those are like typically like the cream of the crop. But like you're missing out on so many exclusives like the Ascent, like Call of the Sea, like the Medium. Those are legit exclusives.
I think sorry, Sean in the chat just distracted me by saying, question, should I get Game Pass? I don't understand. I'm gonna get
That's amazing.
Tattooed somewhere that says get Game Pass, you damn, like on my knuckles.
Oh, that's good.
I'm not gonna do that, but I might let my children
Game Pass.
I might let my children Sharpie Game Pass.
Oh, that's amazing.
Instagram picture. I'm not gonna, it's how I get fired from my job. But I think like I understand the constant rotation of arguments of first party exclusives. It's always going to be there. We're always going to have these arguments, right? But leaving out some of these indies that pop up on Game Pass and leaving out the value of that service when you're making a console distinction is just, you're leaving a big chunk of a why on the table. And I think like Hellblade, second party studios that have been bought up that aren't your Forzas and your Halos. Yeah, sure. Sony has big names that they stack in a taller list if you only look at those things. But Microsoft makes some really smart deals, and you might like a lot of those games if you open... Oh my God, I sound like my mother. If you open your mind to something new...
I really enjoyed Call of the Sea. I really did. That was great.
Crosscode came to... Yeah, you can play Crosscode other places, right? Crosscode blew my hair back, and it was on Game Pass, and I might not have checked that game out otherwise. And I think you got to stack that service on top of that list, and you have to weigh that against Sony's first parties. And some people are going to say, if I can't play Spider-Man on this, I don't want this box. That's
fine. Yeah.
And that's fine. But like, don't write Microsoft's box off just on that point.
Yeah, it seems like the growing sentiment. The reason why I wanted to do this is there seems to be like a growing sentiment. The only thing that's out there is Psychonauts and Halo. It's like, guys, there's so many more things to play than Psychonauts and Halo. Tons more things to play.
Spend your $1 and flip through Game Pass for 1 month.
And they said that they had new things to announce. I'm not sure if you saw. Did you know that ZeniMax Online opened a new studio in Santa Monica?
Oh, in a pandemic?
Yeah, and they brought a Naughty Dog guy to run it.
Oh, cool! I did not.
There's all
see
kinds
that.
of stuff happening.
They're gonna make video games for
like
you.
When Bethesda shows up. Okay, let's go. So we have Halo, Forza Horizon 5, Psychonauts 2, the medium, and then Starfield comes. That's
a big ass year.
That's a big year. That's a huge year. And I just want to give people a little hope. There's lots of things to play. I got too many games to buy.
If you sit here and tell me that you own an Xbox and haven't been able to find something to play, I'm going to be like, do you have a time travel machine?
And it's not even just that. Another reason why I wanted to do this, I actually invited Josh to come on the show, but he couldn't make it. I was listening to Josh on Board with Video Games, and he was saying that he just didn't know what Xbox's lineup was. Like, he knows God of War and Horizon. He just doesn't know what's going on Xbox because they delayed Halo. He just doesn't know. That was another reason why I wanted to do this Outlook. Like, let's round it up and let's let people know what they can expect to play.
And I think there are still a lot of question marks because we have no idea what the impact of COVID stuff is.
Yeah, we don't have a firm lineup yet.
And that's why you're not getting these announcements when you probably would have gotten them. And you probably would have more stability going into 2021 of releases, but there's just no way for them to do that right now. And they're hedging bets and they're managing expectations because they're just like, we got to get these studios back online and software development tools. So I think that you would have had more pomp and circumstance, especially at E3 this year, if people weren't so wrecked trying to solve development problems.
Yeah.
So
I agree with.
It's a weird year.
And if you're looking for the silver lining or you want something to get really hyped, once we get through this year, we get our vaccinations, people get back to work. I mean, Xbox's 2022 and 2023 look stellar. Absolutely stellar. Like, they have so many studios now that it's going to get like an abundance of first party content.
I already don't have time to play all these video games, Donnie. Like, I'm already so tired.
Wait until Avowed, and wait until Elder Scrolls, and wait until Wolf 3, and wait until Arcane's games, and wait until like all these things start showing up. The next Gears and the next Forza. It's going to get nuts.
Shit is cutting into my Tetris time. Like,
And when I see folks say that on Twitter, people say, I think it's a very fair thing to say, I'm tired of waiting. Totally fine. Get an Xbox next year then. But you're going to need one. Sooner or later, you're going to need one because they're going to start cranking it out.
I really think that if you're like, show me why I should buy either one of these consoles this year, the answer is don't. If that's the stance that you're taking, then you're not
excited by all the things that they offer already.
This is also an early adopter time. This is the ultimate early adopter.
And you can't even buy one if you wanted to.
Well, there's that. But this is the ultimate early adopter moment. You got to really want to come in a little hot on these things and a little hot on your software and patching. And, if you're just like, sell me on it, my answer is going to be no, just wait. And you'll have a better experience in 6 months. And that's okay. That's fine. Yeah. But do I think 2021 is going to be a bad year for Xbox? No, dude, they're good. This Game Pass is going to just keep exploding with stuff that you don't have enough time to play. So
they quietly had a really good year. That was one of the things that they announced in their thing is their Game Pass, engagements doubled and all this stuff. Yeah, so they're having a really good year.
This is what Microsoft wants. You will get your video games. I promise. I really do genuinely believe that they will give you stuff that you're excited to play.
Mm-hmm. And I think they'll have the marketing agreement with Battlefield. I think that they've been doing that because PlayStation's got Call of Duty and stuff like that. So, yeah. And typically, right, that second year of a console is when they really start to kick it into gear. The launch is always a little...
Yeah, and once they start, especially came in hot this year because of software stuff, and once they start to separate themselves from last hardware and they start pulling games away that don't have to bridge the gap, we've always seen this. We've seen this so many times in the past. Then it gets exciting. Then it's what can this Xbox really do? Then it's like, what can we squeeze out of this thing? Oh, baby, let's go. So
Be excited.
I
That's why I
am
want to do this show, folks. Be excited. Be excited about your Xbox. Viva la Game Pass. It's going to be a great year. It's going to be an amazing 2021.
Okay, that I would tattoo on my back. Viva Game Pass. Just
Viva
across
Game Pass.
my shoulders with a logo. I'm not going to do that. Calm down, people. All right, I think I'm exhausted. But before we roll out, let's give a shout out to our Patreon producers, because you folks make the dream work and let me keep arguing with Donnie and yelling at him on this show every week. Thank you for letting me do that. So shout out for Edwin Callow, Barry Cathcart, Josh Bonesaw Bourbon, Chris McElfresh, Devin Tyus, Kyle Heyman, Paul Calicote, Michael Masick, The Egg, Shen, Zach Bradshaw, Nick Fallhaber, Rude Days 93, Rob Emanuel. Rob Emanuel. God, I'm exhausted. Ben Moxham and Grouchy Surge. You're always going to be the last one in the list because I get the Tony the Tiger moment. And Sean Elaine is Xbox
exhausted.
I hate it so much. Thank you. I hate it. I hate it so much. I promise you all, some point over my time off from work, I will have a child write Game Pass on my knuckles in Sharpie, though.
That's going to be real good.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to put it on my Instagram or on my Twitter. If you want to follow us on social media, I'm ET Dragon basically everywhere. And Donnie is Eat the Hype, mostly on Twitter. And we have a Discord. You guys should hang out on there because give me more
Catch the pod at the Xbox Empire. You can follow all of our podcasts.
That's
you can
true.
sign up for alerts when we're live and stuff like that.
Yeah, buddy. And follow us on Twitch, PSVG. Just find us on the internet. As I always used to say, catch me on the internet. Catch me outside.
That's it.
So, all right. I think we're out, y'all.
That's it.
We'll see you next week for the last kind of normal show of the year. Until then, play some video games.
Mahalo.
Peace.